Hey out there, this is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. And it is just about 8:35 in the morning, no, 7:35 in the morning here in Northern California. And I'll get into a few different subjects as usual. I wouldn't bother, I say this almost every time now, but I wouldn't bother putting out this series if I didn't think that some of the information I had to offer was vital, critical, extremely important for everybody to know. It's not stuff you're hearing out there. Otherwise, I'd just tell people, hey, go listen to this guy or that guy. It's not that simple. And you're not getting it from the mainstream media. And in my mind, the mainstream media is the cutting edge educators because we can all see the correlation between information and education, right? Because information, when you're informing people, is a form of educating people, right? Because you go to school, you get an education, you're getting information, right? Basically, that's what you're paying for is information. So you value it a lot, and you do everything you can to gather as much information, education as you can. So there is a definite correlation between information and education. And the mainstream media is not only incompetently remiss, negligent, but they are, in my mind, they are giving people malinformation, which means malevolent information with a specific purpose. We've all heard of propaganda. But it's so important that people understand that the things they're not informing you of, not educating you about, are every bit as important as the things they do. And if you're not getting the full scoop on issues, you're just not getting the scoop, period. Basically, you're just as ignorant before you started watching the news as when you're done, even maybe more so. You understand what they're doing here? They confuse people. They keep people stupid because they're being directed by private entities, private parties who have that luxury. They have that prerogative to do that to the public. And they've got ulterior motives for keeping people stupid and keeping them confused and keeping their focus where they want to steer them, their focus of the masses. Okay, so it's imperative that the evil-doing elitists at the uppermost echelons of power in this world keep you stupid, keep you confused, keep you ignorant. Why? Because that way you remain disempowered. You lack the confidence that's required to go forth and to effect positive change. Okay, the change that we all want, but we're all feel disempowered to affect, to gain that progress that we want. We want improvements. We want betterment. We want things to get better, not worse, certainly not worse. We want, for example, those things we all value very much as human beings, like that sense of security, which translates to being out of fear. So there's nobody in their right mind that willfully wants to be in a state of fear, fearful, scared, okay, insecure. That's what insecurity is. Financial, it's happening through monetary means. You've got to understand the fundamental facts, the rudimentary principles of economics, okay, and how you're being duped, how we're being duped. I don't care which side of the equation you're on in this wealth imbalance that's been going on for decades now, okay. Listen, in the long run, everybody is going to be in a world of pain, okay? Because if it's been working out for you and you're on the one side of this ledger and you say, well, all these shenanigans, these economic shenanigans that have debased our money by raising our cost of living, that's how you debase money. It's artificial. It's invented. It's not natural. It's not capitalism. It's certainly not supply and demand capitalism. Supply and demand capitalism brings you what the VCR did. That initially it's a little expensive because there's not many, they're in demand, and so people had to rent them and they couldn't afford VCR. Then a decade later, dirt cheap, giving them away. That's what should have happened with every single commodity in our society if we had a semblance of true capitalism and economic justice. Okay, certainly that if anybody is going to get ahead, if anybody's horse is going to get ahead in this race, it's those that are expending the blood, sweat, and tears out there, doing these jobs that right now we still subjugate. I mean, this has been going on for thousands of years, same crap. Look at the farm workers. How do you justify that? How do you rationalize taking advantage of people? I don't. I don't try to. I try to inform people that it's immoral. It's unethical. It's wrong. It's ungodly. And America is in a fallen state now. We've accepted this stuff. They've normalized it. We're rationalizing it in our sick heads that are sick because of the stuff that's been spewed at us. The training we've received from the mainstream media about this stuff, and this political class plays a big role in this. We don't need these people. They're useless. They're just hurting us. They're big bloodsuckers. I'm not talking about all of them. It's a generalization. Okay, but enough. A critical mass of these politicians have stabbed the American people in the back, at large, just your regular, everyday American people. The majority of California residents today are renters, tenants. They don't own a home. They don't own any real estate, any property. Do you understand? Do you hear the mainstream media educating you about that? They're always bandying about how important democracy is, being democratic and all this. Well, wasn't Nazi Germany democratic? I mean, when Jesus was crucified, was that democratic? It was the majority, right? They were screaming and loud, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and we're the majority, this mob of people. Hey, he's guilty. String him up. Release the murderer Barabbas to us. But kill him. And that was democracy. It was popular. It was so Pilate, he gave in. All right, well, you know what? I don't want to do this. My wife's very upset about this. But you know what? It's a path of least resistance. It's a popular thing to do. Kind of like TMZ. I watch the show just basically to monitor it. Once in a while, there's a tidbit of interest in it. But, for the majority, it's very slanted, the majority of the time. And these guys, I'm not sure if they have any spiritual base. Either Charles, he's the main guy on this TMZ Live, and of course, Harvey. And you know what? I'd like to hear from these guys. They never really give accolades to people that are doing really important things in society. Let's look at, they're looking at the Kardashians and, this person, that, the glitz and glamour, and this is popular. People don't want to hear about that downer stuff, that important. I mean, these people they're in a position, they got that bully pulpit, that megaphone. They could do a lot of good things for America, but what are they doing? I think they need to search their own souls. But, they're part of this mainstream media bunch. I mean, is this the stuff in the scheme of eternity? Look back at your life, okay, and you're going to say, wow, who I wanted to be is not who, in retrospect, I really wanted to be. It was topical. It was superficial. But it wasn't what was deep down in the marrow of my being, my essence, my heart, my mind, my spirit, my soul. I mean, friends, we're one family. And we got to start living like that. If we don't do it, we're not going to please God. And if we don't please God, we're never going to attain genuine happiness. And at the end of the day, if you can't get true happiness, what's it all about? I mean, all this BS, there's nonsense and madness everywhere. It's like demons are just all over us. And especially the righteous. They're getting picked on. I mean, they can't have any fun, enjoyment. They're stuck on this freaking bus with this psychopathic bus driver that is drunk on the blood of saints, and he's taking us all down with him. And I'm on the bus screaming and telling people, hey, we got to do something. This guy's going faster. He's careening into this fog bank. This isn't going to end well. That's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to... Alert! Wake up, okay? I'm telling you, I mean, we're in trouble. We are not pleasing God. We're not going to find happiness, and we're all stuck on this ship of fools together. And the captain is out of his freaking mind. He's a nut. You try to make sense of these people. We know there's true evil. Watch any of these crime shows, these detective shows. I've been watching this one lately. It's this 48 hours. What's it called? It's not the 48 hours that NBC puts out. It's a real life detective show. And it's very depressing. And it's so much of this crime, these homicides, it has to do with money, a few bucks a lot of the time. It's sick. But, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, most people with any semblance of sound mind, they're so far removed from committing these crimes, but they live in a world where people they know are doing these things. And it affects them through osmosis, a scientific principle where none of us can be happy while others suffer. Okay, if there was a way around that to circumvent that truth, that fact, I'd let you know. Okay, if there was just one single selfish way, just look after old number one. It's all about finding your own happiness. You get your own prosperity, and that's it, man. Screw everybody else. You get your own sense of financial security, being out of financial fear, and all that burden and crap, that misery that goes with it, all by yourself. You find financial freedom. So you're not stifled, you're not anchored and stuck in your situation of poverty, and you're running in the sand, and more sand keeps getting dumped on you. Yeah, that's what currency debasement is. That's what it does. They keep raising your cost. It's like they got a dial. And insecurity. Let's see how far we can go. They're walking a tightrope, though, because they don't want to go too far too fast, like the analogy of boiling the frogs. Okay, the most precarious part, of course, is getting them in the pot. Americans have been in the pot for a long time. Since I was a little boy, 5 years old. I'm 62 now. That was the assassination of JFK. We were plunked in the pot. When we didn't revolt and rebel, and when we saw, oh, no, hell no, a hint of impropriety on the part of the Federal Reserve. You're out of here. Is that what the people did? No. Because we had television, we could turn on I Dream of Jeannie maybe, or Father Knows Best, or some damn thing, right? That's what, you think that these people are incompetent? You think they're stupid, just crazy? These are evil geniuses, man. They know they're doing this by full cognizant deliberation. They know exactly what they've done to the American people and how they've done it. But you see, they're at the end of the rope. That's a good news. That's a good news, my friends. Is that if you're young and you're just entering the dam, they're breaking the dam themselves, because they don't know, they're stuck. They're in a corner. Yeah, I mean, they know that the emperor wears